Alexandra Eala pushes Wimbledon champion Rybakina to the brink in Berlin. The tennis world had been waiting for this moment. Alexandra Eala, the 21-year-old Filipina sensation who had just powered past Donna Vekic and benefited from a surprise walkover, was preparing for the biggest challenge of her grass court season. Standing across the net was Elena Rybakina, the world number 2, the 2022 Wimbledon champion, and one of the most feared power players in women's tennis. Just weeks earlier in Rome, Rybakina had comfortably defeated Eala, and most experts expected a similar outcome in Berlin. The Kazakh star was supposed to dominate, reminding the young Filipina that she still had work to do before joining the sport's elite. But what unfolded on center court at the Rotweiss Tennis Club was anything but predictable. Instead of a routine victory for the favorite, fans witnessed a stunning display of courage, skill, and determination from Alexandra Eala. Point after point, she refused to back down, matching one of the world's best players shot for shot and proving she belonged on the biggest stage. By the time the final point was played, the tennis world was left in disbelief. How did Eala push the Wimbledon champion to her limits? And what did this performance reveal about her future in the sport? Setting the stage on June 17, 2026, in Berlin, Germany, the stage was set for one of the most anticipated matches of the tournament. Thousands of fans packed the historic stadium, with Philippine flags waving proudly among the crowd as chants of support echoed across the pristine grass courts. At the center of it all stood a determined 21-year-old from Quezon City, ready to test herself against one of the most accomplished players in the game. Across the net stood Elena Rybakina, a Grand Slam champion whose powerful serve and aggressive baseline game had made her one of the toughest opponents on tour. What followed would become one of the defining moments of Eala's young career, a performance that sent a clear message to the rest of the tennis world. She was no longer simply a promising prospect. She was ready to compete with the very best. Rybakina's flat, aggressive ground strokes and booming serve, clocked at over 127 miles per hour, had already carried her to one of the sport's greatest achievements, a Wimbledon title. She had proven herself on this surface and entered Berlin as one of the clear favorites. The two players had met only weeks earlier at the Italian Open in Rome, where Rybakina secured a straight-sets victory. Although the scoreline suggested a competitive contest, the world number 2 had controlled the crucial moments and shown the difference in experience. Eala had fought hard but was left searching for answers. Heading into Berlin, the odds once again favored Rybakina. She arrived fresh after receiving a first-round bye, while Eala advanced through a walkover following Vekic's withdrawal. Some questioned whether the Filipina would be match-sharp after not playing competitively since her impressive Birmingham Open triumph a week earlier. But Eala came to Berlin with confidence and purpose. Her hard-fought victory over Nikola Bartunkova in Birmingham had not only earned her a title but also snapped a frustrating 13-match losing streak against Czech opponents, signaling her growing comfort on grass. A deep run in Berlin could secure a valuable Wimbledon seeding, giving her even more motivation. Standing in her path, however, was the very player who had beaten her in Rome. The crowd expected a fierce battle. The media anticipated a statement performance from Rybakina, and much of the tennis world believed the Kazakh star would once again remind the young Filipina that she was not yet ready to challenge the elite. Yet from the very first point, it became clear that this match would tell a different story. Set 1, a statement. The opening serve was an immediate warning shot. Eala's powerful left-handed delivery exploded down the tee, painting the line before Rybakina could even react. The radar gun flashed 113 miles per hour, and the Wimbledon champion could only watch as the ball flew past her. The message was clear: this was not the same player Rybakina had defeated in Rome just weeks earlier. From the very first game, Eala seized control of the match. Her trademark left-handed angles, which had troubled opponents throughout her impressive grass court run, repeatedly neutralized Rybakina's power. The Kazakh star's usually devastating ground strokes were redirected with precision, forcing her wide and drawing uncharacteristic errors. Rybakina looked uncomfortable, her movement less fluid than usual, her timing noticeably off. The player who had conquered Wimbledon with relentless aggression suddenly found herself defending far more than attacking. In the stands, Philippine flags waved proudly as chants of "Alex" echoed throughout the historic stadium. At the center of it all stood Eala, the 21-year-old wildcard who looked completely fearless and in total command. She held her opening service game to love, then delivered the first major shock of the match by breaking Rybakina's serve at the earliest opportunity. The crowd erupted as the Wimbledon champion found herself trailing against a player many had underestimated. Rybakina searched for answers, varying her pace, attacking the net, trying different tactical approaches to disrupt Eala's rhythm, but nothing worked. Eala remained locked in, her focus unwavering, her execution remarkably precise. She continued serving with authority, applying pressure in every return game, and eventually secured another break. Before many fans could process what they were witnessing, the first set was over. In just 34 minutes, Eala had stormed to a stunning 6-2 set victory. The stadium sat in disbelief. One of the most dominant grass-court players in the world had been thoroughly outplayed. As Eala walked calmly to her chair after claiming the opening set, her expression never changed. There was no celebration, no sign of surprise, only focus. Set 2, the 119 miles per hour moment. As the second set began, the entire tennis world watched closely to see whether the young Filipina could maintain her remarkable level. Rybakina stepped to the baseline, determined to reset the match, relying on her powerful serve to regain control. But Eala's relentless returning continued to frustrate her. In the third game of the second set, Eala delivered another stunning breakthrough, breaking Rybakina's serve once again and sending the crowd into a frenzy. Then came the moment that would capture everyone's attention. The toss rose perfectly into the Berlin sky, her timing flawless, as Eala unleashed a thunderous strike. The ball exploded off her racket with extraordinary pace, cutting through the air like a streak across the grass. Rybakina, one of the sport's greatest returners, could only watch as the serve flashed past her. The crowd gasped. The radar gun flashed across the broadcast screen, 119 miles per hour. The entire stadium reacted. For context, Eala's average first serve speed typically hovered around 105 miles per hour. She had never been known as one of the tour's biggest servers. Her game was built on intelligent shot-making, sharp left-handed angles, relentless defense, and tactical precision. This serve was something entirely different. Commentators could hardly believe what they'd witnessed. Did you see that? 119 miles per hour. That's not just fast for Eala, that's fast for anyone, one exclaimed. His partner added, she's never recorded a serve that fast before. She may have just broken her personal best on one of the biggest stages of her career, against the Wimbledon champion. Eala remained remarkably calm, walking back to the baseline, bouncing the ball, preparing for the next point as if nothing extraordinary had occurred. She went on to hold serve, keeping the pressure firmly on her opponent. The impact of that ace went far beyond a single point. Rybakina had faced some of the biggest servers in women's tennis, players whose entire identities were built around power. Yet she had rarely encountered a performance like this from a player known primarily for finesse and intelligence. The numbers behind the battle post-match analysis revealed a story the final score alone couldn't tell. Eala recorded 22 winners compared to Rybakina's 14, and committed only 11 unforced errors while forcing the Wimbledon champion into 18 of her own. She won 78% of her first serve points and faced just 2 break points throughout the match, saving both with clutch serving under pressure. The second set, however, showcased why the former Wimbledon champion remains one of the sport's elite competitors. Rybakina adjusted, found greater consistency on serve, and gradually wrestled back momentum. The contest evolved into a fierce battle that eventually stretched to a deciding third set. In the end, Rybakina escaped with a hard-fought 4-6, 7-6, 7-5 victory, surviving a challenge few had predicted before the match began. Afterward, Rybakina was full of praise for her young opponent. She played incredible tennis. I didn't expect that level from her today. She's going to be a problem for a lot of players. As Eala walked off center court with her head held high, there was no sense of disappointment overwhelming the moment. She may not have earned the victory, but she had gained something equally valuable, the respect of the tennis world, and proof that she could compete with the very best. With the Wimbledon seeding cutoff set for June 22, only days away, Eala currently sits at world number 33, just one position outside the top 32 that guarantees a seed at the year's third Grand Slam. Adding to the challenge, the 163 ranking points she earned from last season's Eastbourne final are scheduled to expire on that same date, meaning a strong showing at Bad Homburg could be crucial to securing her place among the seeded players. The Berlin campaign may be over, but Eala's grass-court journey is far from finished. Bad Homburg, scheduled from June 21 to 27, offers more than just ranking opportunities. It presents the chance to partner with tennis legend Venus Williams in doubles, an opportunity to share the court with one of the greatest grass-court players in history ahead of Wimbledon. Reflecting on her performance in Berlin, Eala remained focused on the future. I'm excited for the challenge. I know what I need to do differently. I've learned so much from this match, and I'm going to take that learning into the next tournament. Whatever happens in the coming weeks, Berlin will be remembered as the tournament where Alexandra Eala showed the tennis world that she is no longer simply a promising prospect. She is a legitimate contender, capable of challenging the very best, and her biggest moments may still lie ahead.